This love pain, anybody gotta feel like a pop. For this love pain, anybody gotta pray like a say. For this love pain, yeah. Ooh, I need it for this love pain. Anybody got a prescription, yeah. For this love pain, anybody gotta feel like a pop. For this love pain, anybody gotta pray like a say. For this love pain, yeah. Ooh, I need.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Thursday, March the 4th. March the 4th. It was just January yesterday. Not really. But let's sing our morning song. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Everything gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be all right. I hope you're having a fantastically marvelous day. Again, today is Thursday. My name is Vivian. If you're new to the broadcast, and even though it says Power Hour, I'm typically not on here an hour, so don't you fret. It's probably going to be more like 15, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes if I get happy. But I'm going to try to keep it to 15. How about that? So today I wanted to kind of talk about, I listened to, and before I get started, coming in, like and share, share, that kind of thing. Also, if you're new and you're listening on Facebook or YouTube, you have to give StreamYard permission to show your comments to me on StreamYard. So if you're new, there's that. All right, now that the business is out of the way, okay. So this morning I was listening to, as part of my morning routine, I listen to motivational audios and tapes and things. Well, tapes, yeah. Yeah, I'm showing my age now. Well, anyway, motivational audios, and I was listening to Oprah Winfrey this morning on this channel on YouTube called Believe Nation. He's pretty much puts out those types of videos, the motivational videos by several different people. And today was Oprah's turn for me. And so I was listening to snippets of different speeches that she's given over the years, and motivational type speeches. And one story that she told really stood out for me this morning, because I wanted to kind of give a little talk on it, because this is something that I want to do for my family as well. So she talked about when she first built that school for girls in Africa that she built, and she was so proud of it, and she had every right to be. But she was talking to Maya Angelou when Maya was still alive. And she told Maya, she said, "I think this is going to be my greatest legacy." And Maya turned to her and said, "You have no idea what your legacy is going to be. Because your legacy is every life that you've touched. Not just the girls that you're doing the school for, but every life that you touch, you leave some sort of legacy." Now, I don't know about you, but it's something that you always want to leave a piece of yourself with your family, with your friends, with people that you meet. And at some point in our lives, we've said that we want to leave a legacy for our children, our grandchildren, our family, so on and so forth, right? But we don't consider that we have no idea when we touch someone unknowingly. So living a life of purpose, living a life of gratitude, living a life of service all the time is you putting your legacy out there so that someone is going to be affected. Now, how is it going to affect them? It depends on what you put out there, right? So what you put out is what you're going to get back, right? So if you put out bad stuff, pretty much bad stuff is going to come to you. It doesn't matter whether it comes to you right away or later. It's still going to come back to you. You're just as good as the service that you render. So let's define legacy. And I'm going to read this from Webster's dictionary, right? Webster defines legacy like this: a gift by will, especially of money or personal property, or a bequest. In other words, she left us a legacy of $1 million. The other definition is something transmitted by or received from an ancestor or a predecessor, or from the past, the legacy of an ancient philosopher. In other words, the war, this is an example, the war left a legacy of pain and suffering. So as you see, anything can leave a legacy. It just depends on what it is. If we are continuously at war with people, then our legacy is a legacy of pain and suffering. If you are continuously helping people, your legacy is help and support, just like pain and suffering. So whatever your legacy is what you do now. What are you doing now to affect somebody's life? But here's a deeper meaning that I found. Okay, it says, this is a quote from the article that I was reading. It means putting a stamp on the future and making a contribution to future generations. People want to leave a legacy because they want to feel that their life mattered. Gaining clarity on what you want your legacy to be can give your life meaning and purpose. All of us want to be remembered fondly. I'm thinking, maybe you don't care. But if I am at the end of my life and my family and friends and things are telling the story of my life, I want it to be a good story. This is from hearing Lisa Nichols, who's one of my other favorite motivational speakers, and she was telling the story of her grandmother. I think I told you guys this the other day, but her grandmother said, when you're young, you're building your story. But when you get to the end of your life and people are telling the story of your life, just make sure it's a good story to tell. I think I want that. Don't you? I want somebody, when they tell the story of my life, I want the stories that they tell of me to be of this person who helped people, who was a good person, who smiled all the time. Of course, that may be how people see me now, is this woman's always smiling. What is going on with that? But, I smile because smiling can make you feel better. Whether you're feeling good or not, it can actually make you feel better physically. It's something about a smile or a laugh that makes people feel good. Whether you're smiling at someone or you're just smiling just because you're happy or whatever it is, but a smile can make you feel really good. And smiling at people can leave a legacy, because it leaves a legacy of happiness. It leaves a legacy of good feelings, of joy. So doesn't matter what your contribution is, your contribution to society can leave a legacy. You just have to decide what type of legacy it is you want to leave. For me, I want to leave a legacy of confidence, self-reliance, and wealth to my kids and my grandchildren. I want to leave a legacy of, my mom went for what she wanted. Well, my grandma went for what she wanted. I think I'm going to do that too. Instead of sitting around complaining about what's not going right, do something about it That could be your legacy. That's your history. Yeah, that's your contribution to the world, is that they see you, that you can do it. And it doesn't matter how many people, and that's the thing. We're so concerned about how many likes and things that we get, that we're not really thinking about just touch one life. One can leave a legacy for you. I heard this story about this young man, this young lady, older lady, but younger man. She was trying to get across the street, very, very busy street. And every time she was on a walker, and every time she put her walker out in the street, the light would change. And she would never, ever get across because it was too far for her to go, because she was going so slow. The young man came and he saw her he was in his car. He saw her trying to get across the street. He pulled his car up, stopped the car, got out of the car, put his hand up to everybody. Now, they could have just as easily run him over, but he put his hand up. He protected her as she walked beside him and walked her across the street, leaving his car sitting on the side of the road. Now, somebody could have came up and stole his car. He wasn't concerned about that. What he was concerned about was this lady was trying to get across the street. She couldn't get across the street. She was sitting there trying to get across the street for I don't know how long it was, but he saw a need and he took care of it. He left a legacy of care for that woman. So you see, it doesn't matter how many people you affect, but that you affect somebody's life in a positive way. That's your legacy. Just leave your legacy. You don't know whose life you're going to affect, and you don't know your exact legacy. Now, you can have an idea of what you want to leave. Like, I have an idea of what I want to leave, but what am I actually going to leave? It depends on my actions, and your legacy depends on yours. So I want to leave a legacy of self-reliance, self-confidence, money. I really do want to have a will where there's something tangible to leave for my children or my grandchildren. So this is one of the reasons why I got involved with my company called Ibuumerang. And I want to invite you to come and hear what we do. You're under no obligation to do anything else but come and listen. And I'm hosting a Zoom call tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, and Eastern time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's all. That's the only ones I know. If you're in another country, you have to figure it out for yourself. But if you want to come, I've left the Zoom ID and the passcode in the description of this video. And I would love to see you there. And if you do come, put your name in the chat, tell me where you're from, and I will acknowledge you. And so I will hope to see you there. You just come and listen. If it's not for you, great. It's okay. But at least you got the information. All right, guys. So I will talk to you tomorrow. But in the meantime, I wish you peace. I wish you love. And I love you guys so much. Thanks again for watching. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.